Release the street.
Agbaya, 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 Agbaya.
Jeez, come on, live in the flesh. In the flesh, we are live. It's the Agbaya show. Make sure you like and subscribe. You know, you're tuned in with your fine boy, Damo, Veli, Stanfield. Can I get a round of applause? You know, the editor still hasn't put the sound effects in yet, so we have to do manual clap. But listen, we just thank God. It's another week, another blessing. You know, just thankful that we've made it to this day. And I pray that we see many more.
That's it. That's the prayer.
Exactly. Many more opportunities, many more blessings, you know. And with that being said, without further ado, I have to introduce a special guest, a special friend. I can't even say friend like that because this one is in Yoruba, you say Ebon. Yeah, I hope I pronounced that right. This is big bros to me. So, you know, straight from Coventry.
Yes, sir.
From Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
We have Izzy.
Yes,
You know, aka Adeniyi. Same name as my dad, so I have to really use power when I say that name.
Yes, sir.
AKA CEO, founder of Wetin Dey Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, Damo, man. Appreciate
Thank you, man.
my brother, man.
How have you been, man?
Man, my brother, I've been good, and it's good to see you. Like,
Yeah.
Just like what you said in the introduction, like, we go way back.
Way back,
And
man.
God has a way, or the Almighty or the universe has a way of making our paths cross again.
100%.
You know, the journey started back in Coventry over a decade ago. And then what were the odds? We ran into each other, I think sometime 2017 or 18, if I remember, at Slade Green. And then here we are again up into Bromley, you know. So,
Thankful,
you know,
man. I
we're
remember
looking ahead.
that day I saw you.
Yeah.
And I looked, and I looked at you, I said, what?
Yeah, you were the last person I expected that day as well. It was in the morning, I remember
Yeah,
we're getting on the train, yeah.
And look at us now, man. I'm so thankful.
Yeah, man. Keep you up, my brother, man. I like what you're
thank
doing with the
you.
whole Agbaya show, man.
Thank you.
It's very authentic. Stay true to the game. It's about our community, empowering our folks.
And that's all it is. I always tell people, even the name Agbaya, like it comes from maybe a bad term.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you know when you're young, Agbaya,
yeah.
But I just always know that I always think to myself, we all have that little child in us.
Definitely.
And that little child is basically the real us. And it's always gonna come out someday.
Ideally, yeah.
And why not put it on a platform?
Yeah, that's it.
The best place to show our little child is on a big platform where people can actually relate with us.
With us, yeah.
And basically even absorb some of the gems that we give to them. You know what I mean?
100%.
So thank you. Even how was the drive coming in?
Oh, my brother, it was really smooth, you know. Like for a Saturday, very smooth. I can't complain. So
Yes.
So we got here with ease. Your parking is nice, good location.
Yeah.
Very fair. Everything was, you know. We thank the Almighty. You know, we're here now, and yeah. Honestly, thanks for the invite.
Listen, it's about to get busy
Yes,
here.
sir, yes, sir.
Trust, but before we go any further, I just want you to tell the people them, you know, who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you, my brother. So I'm Izzy Ken, the founder, Wetin Dey Radio.
Jeez.
We're an online radio station. You know, we're here to empower the Black community, especially.
Yes.
We're here to push our Afro-urban agenda. When I mean agenda, in a positive light, our music, you know, our talk, just anything around us. And the aim, you know, for Wetin Dey was, you know, just to inspire, educate, inform, and overall entertain our people. And it's always good when it comes from our people to our people and also to the world. And I've got this adage I always say: until the lion tells his own story, the hunter will always get the glory. So for me...
No, you have to say that word, please. I beg.
I'll take it again.
You have to say that word again.
Yes, until the lion tells his own story, the hunter would always get the glory. So what I'm saying is basically mainstream media have been, you know, in the last decades or years, they've been putting a narrative about us Africans, and boy, you know, to me, I watch things on BBC. You know, sometimes you watch, if they want to put a big documentary, they'll go to the slums. Well, everywhere has a slum, even in the UK, everywhere, you know. But they'll go to that place and give you one sort of captivating title. But anyways, for us, it was just like, man, we need to start selling ourselves.
That's it.
To the world. And you know, we're, in this case of my adage, we're the lion. So if we're not saying our own story, the hunter are the mainstream people. They're the ones coming to write the narrative and selling us. So, man, kudos, man. Thanks for having me on this show. And
of course, man.
I look forward to many more.
And then, I have to let the people them know that that's real Nigerian proverbs.
Yeah.
And they don't know how powerful these proverbs, these Nigerian proverbs are. Like when you actually hear it and take it in, you're like, wow.
Reflect, yeah.
And even like you said, like, we need to start telling our own story.
100%, my brother.
Because now you have people like, I don't even want to go too into it, but you have people like even Jamie Carragher.
Yeah, well.
Now talking about AFCON.
Yeah.
Somebody he's a hunter that's telling us our story.
Yeah, exactly. He's the hunter that's telling us our story.
He's never been to, I don't even think he's been to Nigeria or any of these places.
Yeah.
You see, but he's happy to
talk down on our
people. And now it's time for us to talk it up.
Definitely.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Once again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Damo. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me in the studio.
Now we're moving on to Agbaya of the week. And this one, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know too much about politics.
Okay.
But when I saw that Kemi, is it Badenoch?
Yeah.
I saw her, and when I saw what she was doing, I said, this is nonsense now.
Yeah.
She's really selling us to her masters.
Yeah. So, you see that lady, funny enough, like a few years ago when she first came up in the limelight, I was so happy, at least we've got our very own in the Hems of Affair or whatever. But later I just realized the lady constantly feels like every time she talks down to Nigeria, she's scoring a point for her. So for me, it's very disappointing, that lady. In fact, for the first time ever, I went on her, her X page, and I wrote a lot. I don't normally do that, but I listened to comments, but it was the real me coming, protected. Because for me, they ask you questions about the UK, and you're constantly throwing Nigeria under the bus. Like, what is it? And I'd realized that she was actually born here and taken back to Nigeria and lived in Nigeria until she was 16.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a word they call them. I can't remember that word now, unfortunately. And I don't think it's disrespectful. But, like them times, I think, what's her name? Margaret Thatcher was going to stop the whole birth by citizenship, by birth or whatever. And then the parents came here quickly. They were kind of Leonard or whatever.
Yeah.
Came here, gave birth, and took her back to Nigeria. So she was actually 16 when she moved back to the UK. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, she, her career, she had a career high or whatever, and she went into politics. But for me, you don't have to sell your people or sell yourself short
at all
for you to rise. For me, you see this, let's call it as it is. The Westerners are watching your rhetoric and they'll use it against you.
Yeah, that
do you know
is
what I mean?
the thing.
So, I really hope at some point people around her would advise her, people that truly love her.
Yeah.
Fair enough, kudos to her. Yeah, she's married to, I think, a Scottish guy. That's by association to be married, but your roots are still who you are, your ethnicity, your originality. And you can't be throwing, because yes, we know Nigeria is not the best, even the UK, but my problem is they ask you questions about UK, you have to always use Nigeria. And then look at the policy you were coming up with, was it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? With the whole immigration thing, trying to say people for them to get their British passport, they'll go through like a 15 years route, 10 years indefinite, and then another 5 years. Like, what's your game?
It's crazy. And the worst thing about the whole thing is the clip I saw Keir Starmer. He just rubbished her.
Yeah, that was
he said that
recently. He said,
over the weekend, I suggested to the Prime Minister that he cut the aid budget, and I'm pleased that he accepted my advice.
I'm going to have to let the Leader of the Opposition down gently. She didn't feature in my thinking at all. I was so busy over the weekend I didn't even see her proposal. I think she's appointed herself, saviour of the Western civilization. It's a desperate search for relevance.
What did he say? He said something that he said
relevance.
Yeah, desperate attempt for relevance. And this, when I
yeah.
looked, I said, how can you still stand in that room? And somebody said you are desperate to be for validation.
I'm telling you, man, that lady, I just people like I said earlier, people that really love her should advise her.
Yeah.
I just call her the gatekeeper, the Tory gatekeeper. She's holding the fort for them now. When it's time, come on, even the Asian guys, what's his name? The former PM. What's his name? Sunak and the other
Priti Patel.
Look at what they did as well. They used them to get wherever. See, the thing is, yes, let's call it. There's still systemic racism in this society.
100%.
As much as we want to underplay it, it's there.
Yeah.
There's still something where they feel like we can't get to that pinnacle. Like if we get to that peak, they have to pull us down. Both the blacks, both the ethnic minority. My background is in HR, and I specialize more in equality, diversity, and inclusion. And for me, the struggle for us started with the whole racial inequalities, but over time it's been diluted.
Yeah.
So again, I see all this rhetoric, and so when we have that tiny fraction of our people that out there that've got a voice, speak up.
Yeah. This is
Talk
the
about your
thing.
lived experience. Don't underplay it.
But now it's a case of some people, like you said, gatekeeping.
Yeah.
The minute they get to that level,
Yeah.
it's like they've forgotten how they got there. They've
got there,
forgotten
yeah.
all the people, the struggles, challenges, and they just believe that they're on the same level as them.
Exactly.
Like the way I say it is, I was born in the UK. I'm not blind to see that this is a white man's country.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I'm gonna do is learn off them and
Straight up.
take the skills and bring it back to my people.
That's it. I clap. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Why would I, with everything I know, keep it to myself and not help anybody else? And now be talking bad about. I can't even come on social media and be talking nonsense about Nigeria. If I want to talk about the issues in Nigeria, I'll talk it to my
within
in-house.
In-house, yeah.
But you're talking in a house full of white people.
Yeah.
Respectfully, Asians, white people, whoever's there, and now you're thinking in your head, oh yeah, because I'm talking the truth about my people, they're going to trust me. They're not going to trust you.
No, they wouldn't. They would never.
You know, in the Asian and white community, whistle blowing is a big thing.
Yeah, it's part of the culture, man.
It's part of the culture, and it's like they see you as if you're ready to throw your people under the bus.
Yep.
What happens when you come on our ship? You're gonna throw us under.
Exactly. You know.
So now what they've done now, I feel like they've put her in a special box.
Yep.
So now they know that if they need
her, monitoring her.
you understand, monitoring her, if they need somebody if they need that black savior, African savior that they called her, then they'll bring her out and let her talk. Then it's back in the box.
That's it. And she'll only have herself to blame. And I keep saying people that close to her, that really love her, should start advising that lady, man.
Yeah, please.
You know, we're proud of you as a politician. Yes, coming from the ethnic minority background, whether you like it or not, you'll always be a Nigerian. Yes, you're married to a Scots or whatever. You know, you were born here, but your ethnicity, your roots is still deep down Nigerian. So you should never, especially when they're not even asking you questions about Nigeria. I think that's the one that really pisses me off. It's talking about policing in London. She quickly just changed the rhetoric
to Nigeria.
Went to Nigeria and said, her brother's shoes or whatever was taken. And I don't know if you saw this guy had to really take his time, buy a shoe and watch or whatever. Went to the House of Parliament and delivered it and said, okay. Because, regardless, yes, we have our shortcomings in our country, like every country. Do you know what I mean?
Country has it.
But you can't just always use your people as a yardstick for anything you want to talk or a template for me.
It's nonsense.
So,
the way I see it is, okay, Nigeria, Africa has shortcomings. Like Nepal, for example.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Yeah.
Nepal, when they take light, all of these sort of things. But when you even come to the UK, when it rains, when it snows, the country is downhill.
Yeah, exactly.
This country only has one Blackwater, one tunnel, Blackwater tunnel, to get to East London or Rotherhithe. After how many years? There's so many. You know what it is? It may not be as bad as maybe Nigeria, but like you said, everyone has their own issues in their country.
Of course.
So why just vocalize the issues in the UK? Don't vocalize your own country, like you said, without them even mentioning. So now you're creating a stigma.
Yeah, exactly.
Kemi, listen, we have to round this one up. You are the Agbaya of the week.
Agbaya! In Nigeria, they need to flog her and cleanse her, and pray for her, and tell her that bad spirit that's making her run about. Let them tie it,
You know what it is? I feel like in this new generation, these children are not stooling down anymore.
Nah, not anymore, man.
When we used to stool down, when they were, I can guarantee you, after I stool down for at least 5 hours of that day, I will promise my dad I will never do it again, and I won't. But when there's a lack of discipline in this world nowadays, the government are basically owning your children.
They are, but that's what they're doing. Thank you for saying this, because let's say as it is, yes, we're born here, lived here, and everything, but the government want to own the kids, want to own the family units. You can see they destroy family units.
100%.
I want a story for another day. Like, we're seeing it, and us as a people, and when I mean as a people, us as the Black, African, ethnic minority, whatever fancy word we want to call ourselves now, deep rooted, we know that our culture is discipline, is built around discipline.
100%.
And that's what got us to where we were before this guy's even discovered our island or discovered this large land called Africa and left the country and sailed. So for me, we need, you know, whilst we're trying to be PC, which is politically correct, man, let's still address some ills, you know, that's happening. You know, I see some of our African kids now going astray and parents can't really talk anymore, you know, because they're like, you know, I don't want to be they'll come and take the kid from me. But they smack, if I smack him, they'll complain to social service. It's nonsense, man. It works for them. And I'll tell you one thing, my brother, it works for them, but it doesn't even work for the aristocrats. Check, the aristocrats from this country, those ones that practice the monarch system, they still have discipline in them.
Of course.
They still do arranged marriages. They still do a lot of discipline. They still do a lot of profiling, trying to keep up with status. It's the working class that we're seeing and that we're trying to emulate, you know. So why should we throw our own identity, you know, our own culture that we've been raised, that's made you the man that you are today, set up your stuff, the man that I am to set up myself, many other of our people doing so well, even in politics, even around the world. But just because you have that opportunity, you want to throw your people under the bus. I think they're going to give validate and clap for you. I feel sorry for that woman, man. Sometimes I think they need to reassess her and think if she's got some mental issue,
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word you said.
A lot of people suffer from that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and she's in a society where they can quickly diagnose it quickly. She's even in the hem of affairs there.
I believe she thinks she's Scottish.
Oh, well, the lady, man. Oh my days, but you know, terrible.
Just in case you missed it, we were just talking about, you know, Agbaya of the week. You know, Kemi Badenoch. You know, make sure you check that one out because we had a lot of stuff to talk about on that one. And you know, she's letting us down. You know, the people, the community, and we need to stop selling ourselves. Don't get me wrong. I know that every black person is not a monolith. We all don't think and behave the same. But sometimes I feel like at times, when it comes to serious moments, we all need to think the same.
Exactly.
Because it's like, I always say to people, it's like A Bug's Life. Have you seen that film, A Bug's Life?
No, I haven't. I'll take note of that.
But A Bug's Life is an old school Disney film. Whereas, you know, it's the ants versus the grasshoppers.
Okay.
But the thing is that the ants don't realize when they're in big numbers, they are mighty. Right. Because they're still, you know, the fear of the big, you know, like a David and Goliath. Yes. Until David realized after I've thrown the stones, this guy is not as strong as I thought. So obviously, as the film goes on, you know, they all start, you know, they're still fearful. They're still living in that sort of moment until one of them actually stands up for himself and he gains the courage and everyone starts to follow him. Till they all realize we can defeat these grasshoppers. Nice. So that's the reason why I related to sometimes our community, because we need to realize that the power is with the people.
It's with us,
But people don't realize that.
Yeah.
The minute one person realizes the power is with us, another person will think, no, everyone will follow. But there's always another person that will say,
doubt.
No, they're offering me more.
Exactly.
Let me go over there. What is it to gain the world but lose your soul?
You know what I mean?
That's it. So, you know, without further ado, we have to move on. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours. And now the next segment is, you know, the quiz time.
Yes, sir.
I like to ask all my people, all my guests, you know, to choose between, it's out of 5 people.
Okay.
You choose one or the other. And it can be either artists, actors, football players, even food, or anything. Okay. So the first person I'm going to choose now, because I'm on Niger. So this one is Wizkid.
Right. Okay.
Or Burna Boy. I saw them in Femi Odetola's house.
Okay. Oh yeah, yes.
The other day. Yeah. And I looked at it, I said, you know what? Uncle Nee is coming here.
Definitely.
I need to ask you, who are you preferring?
Well, do you know what? 2 of them have done big things. Big things, and kudos, kudos to what they're doing, putting out the community. For me, it's anyone that amplifies. But just to cut the story, to keep the answers straight, I'll say Burna Boy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll say Burna Boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing great now. And, he's pushed African entertainment, not just music, entertainment to the next level.
And you know what I like about him is that he, obviously because he has a lot of ties with Fela Kuti.
Yes.
Like even as he's talking now, as he even demonstrates himself on the track, you can even hear the Fela Kuti in his music now.
The symphony and everything as well. The vibe. Yeah.
So and that's why I really I mean big up to Wizkid, you know.
Yeah, he's doing big things as well.
Both can coexist
Yeah.
to be great as well, but it's all about preference. And
yeah.
in this situation, Burna Boy is doing amazing things,
Yeah.
and long may it continue.
Yes, that's our prayer, man.
Oh, I'm telling
Putting
you.
us on the map.
The next one, Tupac or Biggie.
Oh, that one's straight up. I mean, I was always been a Tupac person.
Oh,
growing up,
seriously?
man. Yeah, I was a West Coast man, man, in the 90s. So you had to choose if you're a West Coast man or East Coast. I've always been a West Coast man.
West Coast.
Yeah, man.
Okay, this one now, next one now, we're gonna go with 50 Cent
Yeah.
or Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, okay. Do you know what? I'll be honest. Growing up, it used to be more 50 Cent than because he had that appeal coming up from nowhere.
Yeah.
But if I sit back now, you know, the age where I am to reflect on music, reflect on a lot of things, I'll say Ja Rule, man.
Yeah?
Ja Rule.
You know, funny enough, a lot
Yeah.
of people would have said 50 Cent. Like
Yeah,
you said, growing up, you know, he's the guy
Yeah,
now.
he was
But
the guy, yeah.
Ja Rule had a lot of hits,
Yeah,
man.
he had, man. He
I
had.
think because of the beef they had,
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, diminished him in a way of.
Yeah, exactly.
But the guy
exactly.
was like,
He was back to back, man. The guy was dropping. He was dropping it back to back. In fact, if anything, I think 50 was riding at the back of Ja Rule's success, if you know what I mean. Coming in, you know, the whole dissing and everything. Everyone wanted to know who's this new kid on the block that's dissing some OG already. And but for me, I'll take Ja Rule any day, anytime, man.
okay, the next one, we're going back to Nigeria. Ira Star. Or, you know Ira Star?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Or Tenny.
Or Tenny, yeah? Okay. Tenny started the game in terms of that, putting a lot of female artists out there after we had the likes of Tiwa.
Yeah.
You know, with me, I like to give you, I'll give an answer, but I'll throw some reason. But Ira Star is doing big things now as well. She's got that appeal worldwide. Tenny also, I think she appealed to the Nigerian audience gradually. I know she's kind of slowed down a bit. Perhaps she's cooking something and, you know, they always have their moments. But Ira Star has got good management as well. So being on the Don Jazz's label, isn't it? What are they called again? How could I forget? Maven Records.
Okay.
Yeah, Ira Star's on the Maven Records.
I
isn't
believe
she?
so. I'm even.
Ira Star. Yeah. Ira Star's signed to Maven. But I know these days they kind of really have a release clause. But anyway, Maven brought her to the limelight, if I'm not mistaken. Ira Star. Let's double check. Because I've got one of my brethren. Shout out to DJ Big N. He's a Coventry man as well. Yeah, he's the official DJ as well. And I know I've seen something with him and Ira Star, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Maven.
Yeah, Maven.
And
yeah,
Republic Records, yeah.
Oh, Republic, yeah, because maybe the Republic Record probably didn't distribution, but Maven brought her to the limelight. So my thing is she's got a good platform. She's got good management around her. So I see her, you know, in the game for another 10, 15 years if the circumstances don't change. So to answer your question straight up, Ira Star.
Yeah. You know what the thing is? Like, I'm a big tennis fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my mom loves her.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like my mom sees herself in tennis
Oh, I
one
see.
way or, you know, her days in Abeokuta.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, relate.
You see?
Yeah,
But it's just one of them ones that
Nice.
I like Ira Star, but it's maybe I'm not listening to her music more enough.
Yeah, I
That
feel you.
actually doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But I'm sure she could. I think the last song I heard of her was the one with Wizkid.
Yeah.
Mommy Jo.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that one is nice, but
Yeah.
other than that,
You don't really know
I like,
much,
you know,
yeah.
Tenny's, you know, rugged woman.
Yeah. Tenny reflects a real Nigeria, like sort of the,
You understand?
the hustle and bustle. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
While Iris Star is kind of reflecting towards the pop culture. You know what I mean? And, yeah, but
And
I
she
see
gives,
what you
to
mean.
be fair, she gives the girly vibe,
Yeah,
which we like.
Exactly.
We like. So
It's
you said
appealing.
Ira Star.
Yeah, Iris Star.
Okay.
Just for the fact that I think she's got more years ahead of her because of the management behind her as well, you know. So I think maybe I might be a bit sentimental about that, but I just see her doing big things.
Okay,
You know?
Tenny, Bello. I've tried. I always back you.
Shout out to Teddy as well, man. She's doing big things as well. You know?
The next one we're gonna choose, Ashake
Yeah.
or Rema.
Right. Okay. Both of them are like the rave of the moment as well. Asake, I think his rise is, you know, sudden. again, he had a good, see, for me, I'm big on management.
Yes.
I'm big on management. So coming under YBNA, Yahoo Boy No Laptop, Olamide's label, gave Ashake a very strong platform to
big platform.
It was like everyone was like, who's this guy? Before you knew boom boom boom, the guy was dropping. And then so yeah, I'll say Ashake. Yeah, Ashake for me. Yeah.
You're not really a Rema sort of.
Rema, okay, now I'm saying that because he's also on the Maven Records. But again, why I say Ashake because I think he pushed the kind of Afro beats to the next level with a different kind of swagger, if you know what I mean. He came out with this sort of, what's that word now?
Fiji.
Yeah, Fiji, exactly. That Fiji fusion. So again, it was something new to our ears. So, and if I shout out to Rema, Rema is also doing big things coming from Don Jazzy. Again, good label. But
good label.
I think Ashake is, for me, why I've just chosen him is just the way, if you speak to a lot of the Gen Zs now, they literally know almost all his songs back to back. Even Rema, to be fair. But Ashake, I think for me, it's just how he came into the spotlight. He had a good foundation. Again, a good push.
You know what it is, maybe I need to rebuke this spirit. But sometimes I always see myself when I was younger as an area boy.
Yeah.
So when I
it was cool to be an area boy.
so when I hear Ashake's music, it gives me that area boy nostalgic feeling.
Yes,
you know,
I feel you.
Rema is nice, but it's a bit too. It's a bit too.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Gen Z.
That Gen Z,
the privileged lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just good vibes. Whereas when I look at Ashake, it's like he came from the ghetto, the mud, and he's really, you understand. So I understand.
Yeah, shout out to both of them. They're doing big things, man. Shutting down venues, still dropping new things. So,
and it's amazing. You know what it is? It's amazing for Nigeria.
Definitely.
Like,
it's a win-win.
It's a big win-win. Like, you know, even though the WizKid, Burna Boy, David, is it Davido?
We call it Davido as Nigerians, but I think the foreigners call it Davido.
Yeah.
Who's like Davido?
So, like, we have so many people in Nigeria right now doing big things. Like, they don't even need to be doing pride and rivaling each other.
They don't, man.
You're all giants.
The sea is big enough to catch enough fishes. You know what I mean?
That's it. I always tell people, unfortunately, I know it's sad. I know you'll be sad hearing this, but there is enough money to go around.
Definitely. And it's still unlimited, countless.
I'm telling you. But the last one, we're going to go to, this one, we're going to go to food.
Oh, okay.
Because I know who I am, but I want to know who you are.
Yes, let's do this.
Eba or Iyon Pande Jam.
Do you know a good one? I'm from the south of Nigeria. You know, I'm from the south, and my mom is from the north. So then in the north, it's more pounded yam. Then in the south, it's more eba.
Okay.
So you know what? Definitely. Growing up, I had the best of both worlds, but I'm more of an eba person.
Yes.
Maybe because I can do it quickly as well, and I've watched the processing as well. Like my grandparent, my grandma, the maternal, my paternal side doing it.
Yeah.
So I'd say both of them taste nice, but preferably, if I go to a Nigerian restaurant, the first thing I would always ask for is eba.
Yes. I'm an eba man.
Oh,
eba.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice,
Eba for real.
Nice.
Because you know what? I like pande jam, but sometimes as I'm eating, I'm saying this is too. It's too smooth.
Sweet.
Yes. I need to struggle as I'm eating.
I get that.
But okay, all right. Nice. So we're going with eba. Okay, that's the last of the quiz time.
Man.
And that was nice. We're warm.
Yes.
We're comfortable.
Yes.
So now it's about time going into the main topic, and you know, it's about you know who is Izzy.
Yes.
Founder of Wetin Dey Radio. Who are you? And what are we standing for? So the main thing right now is, you know, who is Izzy from Wetin Dey Radio? Yeah. And what is Wetin Dey Radio?
Nice one, Damo. What it is, Wetin Dey Radio, as we know, Waiting Day means what's happening.
Yes.
And again, talking about authentic, you know, keeping things authentic or authenticity, sorry, the word. Just like what you talked about, Agbaya. You know, you relate. So I wanted something authentic to relate to our people.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, when you hear Waiting Day, you just know that it's something to do with West Africa or Nigeria. It's like, what's happening?
Yes.
So for me as a person, I've done quite a lot in the community, and I can proudly say it. You know, from the days of doing entertainment to Coventry, running a bar, and then media. But what I realize is we sell ourselves short. We sell ourselves short because we don't really amplify what we do. So I thought there was still something missing in my tray of being a Pan-African.
Yes.
You know, and it was media. And I thought, you know what? Let me, you know, I had a good team around me. We started talking about, creating this brand. And then come lockdown, this was around July 2020, we kicked it off.
Yeah.
And our content was more around promoting Afrobeat. So people were locked down at the time. We knew people would listen more to our Afrobeat, a lot of talk shows. And we made our talk shows very, very, very reflective. So we wanted, so example, we're talking about immigration. We'll bring an immigration solicitor to come and talk. We're talking about health, like, call it like health that's quite common within our community, diabetes or women. I think there's this sort of, we'll bring like female nurses from the community, just anything, sports. I just wanted something authentic, because something from our people to our people, for our people to digest. So that's just been the dream for Wetin Dey Radio, and we've been going on strong. I've also met, call it, I like to use the word personality rather than celebrities. Everyone is celebrated as far as I'm concerned, but personalities in various walks of life, various walks of life. So I've met people, I'll meet them and say, this is the platform we have. Do you want to come and talk to our people? Our audience, we stream worldwide. That's the beauty of it.
Yes,
so we're not just a terrestrial radio station, we're an online stream.
Sick.
So we monitor it. We go as far as China, Canada, Australia. We see it. But obviously the majority of our listenership is around the UK and Nigeria. And again, even though that it was a Wetin Dey brand, I still wanted to keep the African identity. Yeah. So we had a few talk show hosts from Ghana, Uganda, South Africa. Wanted a good mix as well, because it's also good when we talk about Africa. Africa is unique in its sense. 54 countries. We share quite a lot in common, whether we like it or not. But obviously, because of various geographical locations, things differ. So we're able to get like talk show our hosts from different parts of those areas to give us more a reflection of what goes on there. So we're still going on strong. We've got projects where we want to work with some of the local authorities now in Kent. Where we want to sort of give back. Yes. Get a lot of our kids or our youths, I'd say, to get into media as well, even if it's part-time. Do you know what I mean? Keep your whoever is paying the bills or whatnot, but just go into it, because I still feel like we need to amplify ourselves.
Of course, 100%.
That's the mission for Wetin Dey, and I always say we're here to inform, educate, entertain, and inspire. So these are the 4 key words.
And that is amazing. One thing I latched onto as you're talking is the fact that Africa has 54 countries. So that's 54 different characters, personalities, and it's like that's the glorious thing about being even African. Even though I always say that I see African as one nation.
One nation,
There's it's just one country. But we've all been divided and conquered.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. But at the same time, it's a blessing that we're Nigerian.
Definitely.
We can bring a Ghanaian into the room.
In the mix.
Togolese, Congolese, Angolan, Tunisian, and we all have a lot of things to relate. Like there will always be a common denominator within us Africans. That's the best thing.
I agree.
And obviously we all have different personalities, and it's just amazing, man. Like sometimes I wake up, sometimes I'm like, to be African is a blessing.
It is 100%. That's why we can't start that anti Badenoch throwing us under anti
Badenoch.
Throwing us under the bus. Man, we've got that uniqueness, and as you said, we can, we took 54 countries, but we can still have that common denominator. We'll have something to talk about. So either it's the food, the dance, or whatever.
Literally,
something is still a common denominator. But
so I want to move on to you told us what Wetin Dey is. And my favorite song, Wetin Dey, Wetin Dey. So obviously, I want to ask you what is the inspiration behind it? What inspired you to sit there and say, you know what, these people need the education that I'm willing to give them?
I think I just pointed it not too long ago, because I doing a lot of stuff in the community, like running various businesses. I started as early as the 20s. When I started to finish uni, I was always this kind of guy that would always look for the gap. And when I look for the gap, I sell my dream to 1 or 2 people. Some people will buy it. Some people are like, is it feasible? I like to take calculated risks. So for me, in answering your question, the motivation was just trying various things and realizing that we needed a platform to amplify what we do.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? We're lucky now. Afrobeats has sold us really well. I'm talking about early 2000s, mid 2000s. Afrobeats wasn't big. I remember even in Coventry then.
It wasn't even known.
It wasn't even known. We used to go to like a Caribbean club, Release it. The name
Release,
Release, yeah.
Is it what was that? Impulse.
Impulse, yes, yes, yeah, exactly. The name involved, yeah. And I remember then, you know, it was more dancehall. And shout out to that. I'm a big dancehall person as well.
Yeah.
But I still felt like something was missing. So
100%.
for me, it's just like we have our entertainment really selling us there, but we also need that we need to take over mainstream media, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because if you notice, mainstream media are using our content to thrive where they are. And they've thrown us under the bus, you know, as I said earlier, you know, going to Lagos. I remember, if you probably remember, I think it was on BBC Two. Welcome to Lagos. There was this documentary that sold. So I remember, like, I had my foreign friends, and they were like, "Is that what Lagos looks like?" I said, "No. Yes, it was a good documentary, but that name was not the right name for Welcome to Lagos. They should have talked about maybe slums of Lagos or the inner streets or whatever, but they called it Welcome to Lagos." He gave this vocal slender. I wonder where that guy is now, man. Big up to him, man. He had to tell the story. He was a scavenger. Do you remember? I used to yeah. But I remember that it was a big document, but they could also use that same energy to go into like the nicer parts of Lagos as well. And talk about, we have loads of tech guys now doing well in Nigeria.
Crazy.
We have loads of bankers doing well. We have loads, call it. I don't always want to be talking about entertainment again because entertainment is taking us to the next level. But again, it's just, for me and the team, the vision was like, let's have our own station.
Yes.
Encourage our own content.
Yes.
Get our people to talk about their daily struggles, and then we get another set of people to bring that solution. And together we can just, push our narrative. And when I mean a narrative, our culture, tradition, music, art, name it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We have so much.
So much to give.
So much to give. And even touching back on that Welcome to Lagos, because that documentary hurt me. Because I think
was the only one, yeah.
I think before that documentary, I think I even went to Nigeria the year or 2 years before that.
Oh, I see, nice.
So when you go to Abeokuta, and there's places there that is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
That even when you're walking past their house, they even have their initials and their last name on the house, or
Yeah.
So now to come home back to the UK, and then turn on the TV and I'm seeing Welcome to Lagos. I'm like, no. If I did go to Nigeria,
you would have.
You can be fooled.
Exactly.
But when I went there, I said, no. That's when I realized propaganda.
Yes. And this is what the Westerners have used. And this is the vision for Waiting There, and it's still our vision. We will collaborate with everybody, you know what I mean? But let's be authentic in our storytelling. Let's be authentic in our content. We can't be putting our biased stuff to put one race down or one region down and then glorify the others. So,
and even as you're saying, sorry to cut you off, even as you're saying that, it goes back to even Jamie Carragher.
Oh yes, that guy, man.
To put Salah up, you're putting Africa down. Like, why do you have to just talk good about Salah? Don't talk about AFCON and all of these sort of things. You don't. You don't know. I can tell by even your complexion. You have not been to Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't know what you're saying. You have a Europe bias. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with having that because you're European.
Yes, 100%.
Don't have the ignorant mindset.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And then put it out on mainstream. This is what we're saying. Put it out on mainstream before people will digest. But I'm glad a lot of our, sorry to cut you off, a lot of our ex-pros had to come out to condemn it as well. And that's the power of the media. If you don't come out quickly to condemn it, people will buy it. Of course. And then they start thinking, the AFCON has got no relevance.
I can guarantee you a lot of people still think that in Africa, there's huts.
Yeah.
That we live in huts.
100%. When I was in college, my very good friend at the time was a Russian guy. Yeah. I remember he would look at my skin, and I could tell when someone is racist and when someone is ignorant. So he was like, but are you not burnt or something? I said, no, bro, this is my skin. Yeah. He was like, okay. So is it true that you guys live on a trees, like you swing like Tarzan? I was like, really? When I go on holiday, I come back. Because of that guy, I remember my holiday when I was in college, I made sure then we didn't have the luxury of social media. Yeah. We're talking about the early 2000s. I had to take pictures, washed it, like then you go to like the photo palace or wherever they call it, you make sure you have those copies. I came out and I was showing the guy. He was like, really? But I knew he was ignorant. And I said, you know what? It's the narrative. He was like, my grandma said that. I said, yeah, probably that's why you're in England, which is a very multicultural society, and you've had me as a good friend in the college, and we're able to talk about good things. And And I'm sure we kept our friendship for years, even till we went different unis. But
Yeah.
I'm sure. So again, media plays a big role, my brother.
Yeah.
So
I think you kept that friendship based on the fact that you realized he was
ignorant. Yes, he was ignorant in this case.
Yeah.
But I know there are loads of racist people out there that know, but they refuse to accept.
They refuse.
He was purely ignorant. He was, we're all young, preteen, teenagers at the time coming in and that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's true. So obviously, I want to talk about challenges you face when even trying to put Wetin Dey Radio together. Because even me putting the podcast, the finding the space and all of these sort of things, it takes a lot, and sometimes it can even be very demotivating.
Yep.
Have you gone through those sort of challenges?
Yes. Yes. So in setting up anything in this country, there are always setbacks.
Yeah.
You have this big dream. Sometimes you even want to start with the banks. You want to go to the bank and say, "This is my business plan. I need some funding." And before you know it, they're just trying to talk you down, make you feel. And again, I'm saying this from experience. I'm not just saying it on theory. I'm talking about practical. When I first opened my first business in Coventry, I was in my mid-20s or late 20s, I would say. I remember going to different banks thinking it was that easy that I'll sell this dream. I want to open the first African restaurant in Coventry. I just had this my nice business plan. And I was just going from bank to bank to bank to bank. All they would tell you, it's high risk, it's high risk, it's high risk. And it kind of demotivated me. I was just like, oh gosh, this dream. But now I'm not going to let this dream. Obviously, I was lucky I had a very supportive family, sold the dream. They knew my zeal and my impact. And they said, okay, it's going to be stressful. My mom used to own a restaurant in Nigeria as well. She was like, oh, my son, it's going to be very stressful, but do it. My dad, my siblings, everyone supported. And so I kind of started that business without even not even £1 from the bank. The only time the bank would see me was when I'm coming to deposit cash.
Amen.
And I made sure, because I was very close to the banks as well. In fact, it's so funny that I was right in between two banks on the high street in Coventry. Shout out to all the Coventry people that need the Calabash restaurant, and bars. But so then I think I kind of understand the dynamics that, man, sometimes you have to take that unprecedented risk, calculated risk. And it starts from raising capital, the zeal, the motivation. So again, I think it kind of prepared me for Wetin Dey.
Yes.
So I remember when we first started the Wetin Dey thing, again, I didn't really want to bend too much on the banks or whatever. I spoke to one or two, that was during COVID. The risk is high, blah, blah, blah. Myself and the team, we, put our cash together. And so for us, we just knew that, okay, what we needed to do at that time was to stay consistent.
Yeah.
We said to ourselves, listen, money's not going to be coming in. Instead, money's going to be thrown into this. We had to buy equipment. We got a space. A lot of advertising, even flyers alone. We met some content creators to even push it, do some skits, So again, just to encourage anyone listening out there, it's the road is never rosy, but just stay consistent, stay focused, and just have a good team around you. You don't need a lot of people, trust me. Just those people that share your ideology, your vision. Align with them once in a while, sit, whether it's formal or informal, sit down, strategize, think, how can we move things forward? Because whether you like it or not, it's harder for us from the black community.
Oh, very hard.
Do you know what I mean? I tried all this seed funding, I remember, I used to go to Central London, meet so many investor funders, so many things. They would just talk the talk, and then when it's time, you just see them pulling back. Some of them are nice. They'll kind of put you off in a way, nicely. And some of them will just tell you, sorry, we don't have funding. Come back after 2 years when when you've got a good turnover for over 200,000-300,000 pounds. And I'm like, you know what, it is what it is. But back to your question, in terms of challenges will always come, my brother.
Oh, of course.
We face the challenges. We're still facing it because we're still trying to, it's a community radio station. We're trying to get the buy-in now from the local council to understand what we're doing. To say, listen, you guys are quick to put the stats to say black kids or youths are stabbing themselves, but we can keep them productive. We can put them in the studio.
Exactly.
Imagine if we're taking 20 off the street and we're putting them productive. They're doing music, they're recording, they're DJing, they're doing, voiceovers and stuff. We're already taking 20 times probably their friends out the street as well.
That's good.
So, buy into it. And sometimes, we don't have the budget for this. I'm like, we're just selling the idea to you. We just want you to partner. We're not saying own it. It's still our project. So these are the challenges that we still face, but we're still waxing on strong by His grace.
No,
and then working with like minds like yourself and a few people as well, we align and partner together.
And that's it. And I'm very sure that we'll be doing a lot of partnerships.
Many things, my brother, man. Many things. I've been so impressed, and I'm glad our paths crossed again. And we're here to make things happen to the entire community.
100%. And you know what? Even as you're saying, like what you're trying to do, it's even just bringing me back to my younger days that when we used to have youth clubs.
Yep.
All these youth centers that sometimes after school, if you get off the road, you go there. They had the Apple MacBooks, everything. We're just making music.
Yeah.
Pool table.
Yep.
Or doing something.
Staying out of the streets.
Yeah. Because I like with all the people that's come on the show now. My message to the audience is growth.
Yep.
We're not saying that, we've all come from places where we may have done bad things.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm a hypocrite. Yeah. I've done a lot of nonsense.
Who hasn't? Let them cast the first stone.
And we go, like I subscribe. But it's a case of we need to speak up on it.
Yeah.
We need to hold ourselves accountable and hold people accountable for the nonsense.
100%.
Otherwise, it's just a case of indulging in the downward spiral in our community.
In our community, yeah.
And it's sad because even when I go online, and I don't want to be blowing up some of these blogs on Instagram, but when I look at some of their pages and I'm like, you have this much people following you, but you want to spread negativity.
Oh, my brother, like it's terrible.
It's crazy. And then I look in the comments and some of the people I even know, they're all
liking it.
And I'm just like, thank God I've separated myself from you.
100%.
And I don't subscribe.
Do your thing.
Because we could sit here and just be talking about negativity.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're here to uplift. So
definite.
It's a case of, what's your, where do you see the long-term vision of Wetin Dey?
Yeah, good question. The long-term vision is, to expand a great, we're global stream, but I think it's for us to get a wider, what would I say, a buy-in from the community as well. And for me, when I say the community, I start from the local authorities because we still make an impact. We pay our council taxes or whatever, so we're still part of that community.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that recognition, understanding what we're doing and partnering. When I speak to them, I'm not saying take over or we're coming to sell it to you or we're just saying partner. So the long-term goal is for us to be like a force to reckon with,
Amen.
Waiting they'll be under, parents could say, oh, you know what, if my kid wants to go into media and work, I'll go and do a placement to Wetin Dey Radio. Having, even if it's 3 months placement, and we do get quite a lot of phone calls as well. And very soon we're going to start that part where we'll be doing a lot of placement with colleges and the university, 3 months, 6 months. And we're happy to even sign, give you that reference to go onto the mainstream.
Okay.
So we set you up for success. So we set you up so that you go to the BBC or the mainstream and change the narrative there. Do you know what I mean? So that's our goal, long-term goal. And, just keep entertaining our community and keeping our people informed.
And I know that the way I've seen the strategy, the consistency, the diligence in you, I know it's going to come.
By His grace. It comes with challenges, but we'll still forge on. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And lastly, I want to ask you, message or advice to your younger self. Let's say you saw Izzy at 20 years old.
Yeah.
Or even people looking up to you in your field of work. What would be your advice to them?
That's a very good question. And I think I was speaking to a family member the other day that we need to start thinking of generational wealth.
Yes.
Passing on generational wealth. And I think us as a community, we're still struggling in terms of that. So a message to my younger self would have been starting all this much younger. I started in the mid-20s, but starting even way younger. Probably then maybe to acquire resources or whatever would have been easier or could have been easier. But it's just starting it younger.
Yeah.
Be very defiant.
Okay.
Build a very strong team that would all grow together. So even though I kind of started my whole journey around the whole African space, promoting it around the 20s, probably maybe as a teenager, probably started that early. And with that, you're able to understand the language to speak, to get those resources that could have been that hindrance, but we still had to overcome. But then we would have spent more time chasing those resources that were taking more time to access. We would have used that time and resource to build a brand. So that's just a message I would have said to my younger self. Starting early, be more defiant and resilient.
Okay. Look at all the gems you've been dropping here. Listen, I feel like I'm even sitting here thinking, has it been? It's been over 45 minutes.
I know.
And it feels like it's just been 20 minutes. But to catch up with you, bro, it's a I can even prostrate for. This is
Where's the culture and stuff? But you know,
this is
it's
my
what it
elder
is.
brother,
Do you know
man.
what I mean? Yeah.
And like to from Coventry
Yeah.
to London.
To London, yeah.
To be in talking about business in the same room.
Yeah.
Bro, I thank God.
Nah, you know, shout out to you, Damo. Like, keep up what you're doing. That my show is here to stay.
Of course.
You know, just always know that that's your pet project. That's your brainchild. Keep it up. You're gonna meet people. Some people will let you down, but you meet like those few people that align with your strategy. Work with them, and I like what you're doing. Again, having that platform for us to come out here to talk about our authentic self, our culture, our community, and keep up the good work, my brother. Blessings follow you.
Yes.
And many more. And Agbaya to the world.
Agbaya to the world.
Agbaya to the world. Yeah.
Listen, that's all we have time for today. I mean, I wish I could sit here for another hour, but we have Eba to go and eat.
Yes, sir.
But before we sign out, where can they find you?
Oh, yes, good one. Yeah, so we're on Wetin Dey Radio. So we're an online stream. So it'll be www.waiting, I'll spell it WETINDEY radio.co.uk. So that's where you can get us on the online stream. We're working on our, our app at the minute. We're just trying to upgrade it because we have an app for the Apple Store and what's the other one? And
Google.
On Google Play, yeah. But we're upgrading it. So, and on social media, we're on Instagram, Wetin Dey Radio. We're on X. Sadly, someone tried to hack into our Facebook just right after Black History Month. And again, that's story for another day, but we're working on that. But again, just to listen to us, we tend to do a lot of our talk shows more from 7 p.m., weekdays. That's when people are going home relaxed and, so yeah, but catch us and we say we're the #1 Afro-urban hit radio station. Don't change the dial.
Jeez, #1, not #2.
Not at all.
And no Meji or Meta. But listen, Agbaya show.
Yes, sir.
Bros,
Easy. Appreciate it, man.
We have to have a part 2.
Definite, my brother, man. Keep it up. I like what you're doing.
Thank
More
you.
blessings, man. More blessings.
Listen, like and subscribe, people. We're out.